Government advises property developers to obtain drainage clearance, environmental impact assessments before reclamation. Former President Muhammad Buhari's burial holds today in Daura, Katsina State. On the foreign scene, European Union, South Korea seek United States trade deals to soften tariff blow. And in sport, former Super Eagles defender Ifeanyi Udeze urges Super Falcons to be clinical in 2024 WAFCON quarterfinal game against Zambia. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Legacy government has urged property developers to always obtain drainage channels clearance and environmental impact assessment EIA from the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources before reclamation, dredging and sand filling to avert any form of disaster in future in the state. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources Tokumbo Wahab said the government will not condone further illegal dredging reclamation across the state. Wahab said the environmental impact assessment, drainage channels clearance would ensure that the reclamation does not extend beyond the drainage alignment and the discharge of stormwater does not affect the ecosystem. He said the team had to visit the Orange Island following several complaints from residents directing that the ongoing illegal dredging reclamation must stop immediately because there are a lot of outlets that discharge into the Orange Island Lagoon. Wahab said the developers claim they have approvals from some agencies, adding that any approval given without obtaining the drainage clearance and environmental impact assessment certificate from the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources remains invalid, thereby invalidating the dredging. The Office of Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), Lagos State, in partnership with Africa Human Capital Development Plus (HCD Plus), has convened a high-impact advocacy workshop for monitoring and evaluation M&E officers. This is in a significant push to improve human capital outcomes and data-driven development in the state. The workshop themed Strengthening Monitoring and Evaluation for Human Capital Development, held in Ikeja, includes monitoring and evaluation officers across ministries, departments and agencies, as well as a public affairs officer in local government areas. Permanent Secretary of the SDGs Office, Kafaya Sarumi, emphasized the strategic relevance of the workshop in enhancing performance measurement, evidence-based governance and accountability within the state development ecosystem. Sarumi applauded the technical partnership with Africa HCD Plus, noting their unwavering support in accelerating data-driven human capital outcomes across Africa. Troops of the Nigerian Army 6th Division have destroyed 11 legal refineries and arrested 50 suspected oil thieves in the Niger Delta. Also, the Army said during the operation it's confiscated 25,000 liters of stolen products and discovered several illegal connection points used to siphon oil. The Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations, Jonah Danjuma, said the special operation is conducted in 4 states of the Niger Delta region. Danjuma said in the operations that ensued in Rivers State, troops sustained the clampdown on attempts to re-establish new illegal bunkering hubs, including dismantling existing camps. He noted that the troops continue to dominate the waterways and hinterland, denying economic saboteurs and other criminals freedom of action in the Niger Delta region. And now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu, alongside several former Nigerian heads of state, is expected in Daura, Katsina State today for the burial of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Vice President Kashim Shettima and the President's directive is accompanying the remains of the former leader who passed away in London on Sunday back home. According to the presidency, the burial will take place later today, in line with Islamic tradition, at the late president's hometown in Daura. The former President Buhari served as military head of state between January 1984 and August 1985, and as a two-time elected Nigeria's president between 2015 and 2023. President Tinubu has also ordered flags to fly at half-mast as a mark of respect for the departed leader. Katsina State government has declared today work-free in the state following the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Secretary to the state government, Abdullahi Faskari, gave the directive to honor the late former president. Faskari noted that the holiday is intended to enable workers and residents of the state to join the rest of the country in mourning the loss and offering prayers for the late leader. He expressed profound condolences to the family of the late former president, the people of the state, and the entire nation. And in some foreign news, the European Union and South Korea said they are working on trade deals with the United States President Donald Trump that would soften the blow from looming tariffs as Washington threatens to impose hefty duties from August 1. Trump stepped up his trade war on Saturday, saying he would impose a 30% tariff on most imports from the EU and Mexico from next month. He also added similar warnings for other countries, including Asian economic powerhouse, Japan and South Korea. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said countries' trade deals offers so far have not satisfied Trump, and the tariffs are real without improvement to their proposals. Meanwhile, European Trade Commissioner Maros Sefcovic expressed optimism that Washington and the EU are approaching a positive outcome for both sides. And now, sports news. Former Super Eagles defender Ifeanyi Udeze has advised the Super Falcons to be clinical in front of the goal ahead of their quarter-final clash against Zambia at the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The 9-time champions will face the Copper Queens of Zambia in the quarterfinals on Friday. Udeze stated that the Super Falcons have to be clinical enough in front of the goal. It will be recalled that Nigeria was held to a goalless draw by the Fences of Algeria in their final group game at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations to top Group B with 7 points from 3 matches. And that was our news at 12. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website, www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio on My Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration introduced the Lagos Economic Acceleration Program, LEAP, to reduce the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on small businesses? You can get more details. It's on the Lagos State Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government has urged property developers to always obtain drainage channels, clearance and environmental impact assessment, EIA, from the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources before reclamation and sand filling to avert any form of disaster in future in the state. President Bola Tinubu, alongside several former Nigerian heads of state, is expected in Daura, Katsina State today for the burial of former President Muhammadu Buhari. We also told you that the European Union and South Korea are working on trade deals with United States President Donald Trump that would soften the blow from looming tariffs as Washington threatens to impose hefty duties from August 1. And in sport, former Super Eagles defender Ifeanyi Udeze has advised the Super Falcons to be clinical in front of the goal ahead of their quarter-final clash against Zambia at the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And for contacts with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast. It was compiled by Zainab Adebeshi. My name is Mike James. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.